So this is a brief introduction to Google Sheets. You will notice when you open up Google Sheets that there are some things that are very similar to what we've seen in Google Slides and in Google Docs, and there are some other things that are unique to Google Sheets. To start with, up at the top you have your basic sort of controls that you would expect to find anywhere. In File, you have tools for downloading and what have you. In Edit, you have your copy and paste controls and that type of thing. In View, you have a few controls in here. Freeze is quite a useful one. If you have a very big spreadsheet, you can freeze a column using this, you can freeze a row. That means it won't move around as you scroll up and down. This is really handy for titles and what have you. Insert, this is really useful for adding extra rows or extra columns. It's also useful for formatting purposes. You can add boxes which contain pictures, or you can just add images and charts, that type of thing. It's kind of handy. And if you've ever seen any of our self-checkers, this is how I insert a checkbox as well. Formatting, we should know something about formatting at this point. Formatting is the way things look for the most part. So we can control perhaps the type of number that we're using. So we can choose from just basic numbers, percentages, scientific notation. We can put it into various different currencies, dates, times, that sort of thing, and there are a bunch more. You've got your bold, italic, underlined, font size, all this sort of thing. This is also all available from here, this sort of area. You've got data. This is kind of useful. We can make drop-down menus with this. We can put things in alphabetical order. We have some tools, which we probably won't use for the most part. We can use this to create a form. We can write macros, which are sets of instructions which can be repeated on just with one click. We can check our spelling, that type of thing. Add-ons we won't be using. This is for extras, and if you get really stuck, then there is the help control. Okay. After that, you have many of the same controls along here as you do up there. It's just with an icon. So you've got controls here about numbers and currency and what have you. You have font size, the style of the text, whether it's going to be bold, etc. You can color cells. You can add borders to cells. You can align your text left, right, up, down, all that sort of stuff. This is a useful one, text wrapping. You'll notice if you put anything large, any large amount of text into one cell, it overflows. But if you use this control, it will drop onto a new line. If you use this control, it will overflow. If you use this control, it'll sort of cut it off. So it'll sort of keep going until it runs out of space, and then you won't see it anymore. And you have a bunch more controls in here. Some of which we'll use, some of which we won't. Other than that, you have the spreadsheet itself. You can double click in a cell to type. You can write pretty much anything in here, and you can see that's spread out of that cell. If I hit enter, it's still spread out of that cell, but if I wrap it, that cell gets bigger. That sort of thing. You will also notice that editing these is a little different to editing just a regular text box. If you click in there and start to type, it just deletes. So what you need to do if you leave the box is either double click and then click where you want to type. If you use the arrow key, quite often this will not work. What will happen is it'll go on to the next box. This will also be the case if you press enter. It'll go to the next row or what have you. You can also edit it in here. And that's pretty much it, actually. This is a pretty basic overview of Google Sheets. Hopefully I've covered most of the major points. And if you need to rewatch this, rewatch it.